All right, let's talk about why we should deal in higher price range houses. As I said when I started, when I'm dealing in owner financing in this world, or I'm dealing in lease options, I only want to deal in higher priced houses. I don't want no cheap stuff, and then we're going to find out why right now. Number one, you get a bigger upfront profit on the down payment. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm selling a $50,000 house for $50,000 and I'm owner financing it and I'm getting $5,000 down, and I'm selling a $150,000 with owner finance, $150,000 house, and I'm owner financing it for $15,000 down. Do you think I'm going to have more trouble getting the 15 or the 5? The answer is the 5. I'm going to have more trouble getting the 5. One of the advantages of dealing in higher priced houses is you're going to run across buyers with more money. And the higher price house you get, the more that's going to be true. If you have your choice of collecting $5,000 or $15,000 with the same amount of work in the same amount of time, which one do you take? Do you need a minute? Isn't it true that it's just as easy and fast to sell that 150 for 15 down as it is to sell that 50 for 5? It's probably easier and quicker. So I'm asking you, if you have a chance to get more for doing the same, why would you even consider putzing around in these junkers, these crap, this scum of the earth houses, even if they are in good shape? The answer is because it's in your comfort zone. Right? Hello? Isn't it? I mean, you know, the number $50,000 just looks safer than the 150. If I'm giving a $10 deposit to a seller to buy a $50,000 house, and I'm giving a $10 deposit to a seller buying $150, which one is more risky? You see, it doesn't matter, does it? So once we get over this fear of loss thing, we will realize that if I deal in the higher price stuff, I get a chance to make more money, and I don't have any way of losing any more than if I deal in the low price stuff. So let's continue and see if we can find some other advantages of doing that. You get a larger spread on the monthly payment. Gosh, common sense will tell you that it's easier to get a bigger spread on the 150 than the 50. I mean, what's the absolute most that you can command on a monthly payment on a $50,000 house, do you think? $550 maybe? What kind of monthly payment do you command on 150? $1,300, $1,400? Mathematics will tell you that when you're dealing in larger numbers, you have a better chance of getting a larger spread. You get bigger back-end profits, same thing. You think there's a better chance of making a bigger chunk of money on 150 or the 50? Obvious, isn't it? The more of the buyer's money you get, the less chance you have of buyer default and vandalism. And here's something that I got to drive home. Where do you have all the problems with owner financing? With your buyers? In the junk. If you're out here selling $50,000 houses to people and getting $5,000 down payments or less, you're dealing with people who are in a very low income bracket. You're dealing with buyers that doesn't take much to go wrong in their life before the world's going to cave in on them and they're not going to be able to make these payments. If they were in a higher income bracket, they wouldn't be living in the $50,000 house to begin with. So you're dealing in a section of the population that is just prone for trouble. Turn that around and make this a $150,000 house. Do people, number one, who buy $150,000 houses, just by the nature of it, have to have a larger income? Yes, because the payments are larger. It's usually a two-income family, and they have to have more monthly income. It takes more to go wrong in their life. They're usually more sophisticated buyers. They're usually better financially trained and equipped, and it takes more to happen before they have a problem that becomes your problem. It is my experience that your problems arise in your cheap stuff. When you deal in the higher price stuff, your problems are far and fewer in between. And one of the biggest reasons why you'll have less problems in the higher priced houses is because you get more of the buyer's money in your hand up front. And the more of the buyer's money you get up front, the less chance you're going to have of the buyer defaulting. By the way, it might have occurred to you that the more of the buyer's money you get up front, the less you care if the buyer defaults. When you go selling $50,000 houses for $2,000 down, you lay awake at night wondering when they're going to quit making payments. When you sell $150,000 houses for $20,000 down, you lay awake at night hoping they'll quit making payments. You'll have a lot less competition from other investors because other investors are scared too by the larger number, because they haven't been trained. I shouldn't tell you that. You won't tell them about me then, will you? You'll be one of only a few choices in their city for your buyers to find quality houses with non-qualifying financing, and boy, is that ever true. Think with me now. If somebody wants to buy a house with owner financing that doesn't require qualifying, where are all of those available? In the high-price stuff or the low-price stuff? All in the low-price stuff. They're all available by all the landlords and people, investors, who can't get rid of their crap, so they put it on the market for owner financing. How much of an opportunity does an owner-occupant get to buy a $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 house that requires no bank qualifying, that is in a gorgeous area, a gorgeous condition, that is not a project that has some kind of malfunction with it? They don't get very much of a chance to do that, do they? So aren't we saying here that we're supplying a commodity that we virtually have no competition for? That's true. You have no competition supplying gorgeous houses to non-qualifying buyers. Now, if you have no competition, folks, doesn't it stand to reason that you're going to have a slew of people at your doorstep wanting to buy? Because you're it. And if you have a slew of people at your doorstep wanting to buy, don't you get to pick and choose who you want to sell to? Therefore, when we're dealing in no qualifying deals and we're supplying lovely housing with reasonable payments and reasonable down payments, we don't take no crap from buyers. We make the rules. It's our way or the highway. Well, I sound tough, don't I? I am. But not near as tough as I sound. I'm just case hardened. If you wish to keep some houses for growth in the depreciation increase in dollars much faster on higher priced properties. Doesn't stand to reason that a $200,000 house appreciates in dollars faster than a $50,000 house. Maybe at the same rate, but we're assuming it's not in L.A. If it's going to appreciate, it's going to appreciate faster. Okay? You get bigger paydays when you discount bigger notes. What a surprise, huh? The more you owe, the bigger the discount. Okay, we've talked about why should a seller discount, and we've shown that by making it, just pointing a few things out to the seller, that it would be make sense for them to discount, if not just because they wanted to cash, but because economically it makes sense always to have cash today rather than payments over an extended period of time.